Good morning. Welcome to the Lorain County Board of Commissioners meeting of September 1st, 2021. This meeting will now come to order. We will rise for the Pledge of Allegiance and the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
In our inspirational word for the day, wherever two or three are gathered in my name, I am there in the midst of them.
Thank you, Commissioner Lundy. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Here.
Commissioner Lundy?
Here.
Commissioner Moore? I'm sorry.
She misses 1 week. And
I know, I'm off right now.
Okay, we'll begin with a proclamation. Proclaim September as Prostate Cancer Awareness Month. In the matter of proclaiming, September 21st is Prostate Cancer Awareness Month throughout Lorain County, whereas this year approximately 248,530 men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in the United States. That is 93 deaths per day. Roughly 34,130 will die this year from the disease, which is one man every 15 minutes. Whereas men with relatives, father, brother, son, with a history of prostate cancer are twice as likely to develop the disease, whereas prostate cancer is the most commonly diagnosed cancer in American men and the third leading cause of cancer death behind lung and colon cancer. And whereas all men are at risk of prostate cancer, and we encourage the citizens of Lorain County to increase the importance of prostate screening. So now therefore it be resolved by the Lorain County Board of Commissioners that we hereby proclaim September as Prostate Awareness Month, and we encourage the citizens of Lorain County to increase the importance of prostate screenings. Okay.
Yeah, I could just add that, I think that early detection is always the key. And, I think as a man, I can say that we're pretty stubborn about dealing with doctors and try to avoid doctors' offices every chance we get. But, having had the chance to each year meet with a local prostate cancer survivors group, they will tell you how thankful they were that they actually did go to the doctor's office, where they had the exam, where there was the early detection. Otherwise, they would not be here today. We've made a lot of advances in medicine where we can, address these things much better and prolong people's lives. But early detection is the key. But I guess as a man to other men, I would say, let's not be stubborn about this. Let's get tested. For anybody who's gone through the testing, it's a little uncomfortable, but the reality is that you'll feel much better once you've actually gone through the screening to make sure everything's okay. And if something is not right, the early detection is critical to saving lives.
Thank you, Commissioner. Okay, moving on to B, presentation, Neighborhood Alliance, Neighborhood Nutrition Kitchen. We have our guest today, Alicia Foss, President and Executive CEO. Thank you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having us.
May want to pull that mic down a little bit.
Sure.
There. I am so.
I know. It happens. All right. I need this for the presentation. All right. Well, good morning. I'm Alicia Foss, President and CEO of Neighborhood Alliance. And I want to first and foremost thank you, commissioners, for allowing us to be here today and have the opportunity to present to you our plans for the Neighborhood Nutrition Kitchen. We're very excited about this project and what we believe this new venture will mean for older adults in our county. The mission of Neighborhood Alliance is to help people in crisis and to empower them to move forward with their lives. With a 94-year legacy in Lorain County, our agency is uniquely poised to take on new challenges because of our longevity and breadth of knowledge in our programs. In all of our service areas, 97% of the populations that we serve live in poverty. We also have a waiting list for almost every program that we run. We saw the needs in the community increasing for our services long before COVID-19 became a part of our lives. However, the pandemic has highlighted the importance of essential needs like food and shelter. And for us, it also highlighted the need for more space to expand our programs and services throughout Lorain County. And I will now turn this over to my team, who I brought with me, to present some of the details of our plan. Lori?
I'm Lori Major, the Grants Manager with Neighborhood Alliance. And I want to talk a little bit today about just some of the data that we know to be true in Lorain County. First off, to share, living in poverty complicates the aging process due to rising costs of prescription medication, increasing healthcare costs, and decreasing income due to retirement. Food insecure adults are at higher risk for chronic health issues. Almost 38% of seniors 65 and above are living with at least one disability that impacts their health and well-being. In Lorain County, those 60-plus individuals have increased from 18% of the population in 2015 to 25% in 2020. This group will exceed 26% by 2025. By 2035, we must be prepared to address the population shift for the first time in U.S. history, as those 65 and up will outnumber children younger than 18. Adequate nutrition is crucial for the older population to stay healthy and to work toward lowering disease risks such as diabetes, stroke, and heart disease. The Lorain County Community Health Assessment, last completed in 2015, found that 19% of adults 65 and up described their health as fair to poor. The 2008 Lorain County Needs Assessment of older adults showed almost 88% of the respondents did not eat a healthy diet. Between 2001 and 2011, 1 in 12 seniors experienced food insecurity. And again, the numbers that I'm citing are old. We know that the census is going to be coming out very soon, and we'll be able to update these numbers, as well as the Lorain County Needs Assessment of older adults as well. We expect that this fall. Neighborhood Alliance is dedicated to working towards decreasing senior hunger and to address the nutritional gap between those who currently receive home-delivered meals and the many, many more seniors in this community at high nutritional risk in need of home-delivered meals. We also know that life expectancy, thank you. We also know that life expectancy in the county varies from 70.9 years in certain pockets of poverty to 85.7 years in the more affluent areas of the county. This slide was given to us, and I hope that you all have a copy up there to see it. I know it's hard to read, but this slide was given to us by our friends at Second Harvest. This shows the food deserts in Lorain County, and for those of you who don't know what food deserts are, these are areas with limited access to healthy and affordable food. And in Lorain County and in most areas, they coincide with poverty in that particular area. What you can see with the map is that the areas of highest poverty, on here it's close to 28%. The areas of the food deserts are actually outlined in red. And again, you can see that those coincide with the areas of the most poverty in Lorain County. What we do know is that the individuals that live in that community, whether they're young or old, have a hard time accessing affordable, healthy food. When you compound that with those in those areas that are older, possibly again with at least one disability, we understand that securing food is very, very difficult for them. And that is where Neighborhood Alliance comes in. We provide meals across the county to 80% of the communities in the county. And every community in the county has older adults that are experiencing hunger. It is important to provide access to nutritious food to our most vulnerable, food insecure, older adults. And as baby boomers retire, the need for home-delivered meals is only going to increase.
Thank you, Commissioners. I'm Amy Anderson. I'm the Director of our Senior Enrichment Services for Neighborhood Alliance. And I'm going to just speak to you about the numbers. So as you see on this slide, back in 2009, at the end of June of 2019, I apologize, we served 34,930 meals. At the end of June this year, we have served 62,186 meals. Our wait list now is about 30 people. As they are calling, we are getting them assessed and on the meals quickly. After we received our 4 new trucks at the end of 2020, we went from 6 routes to now 11 routes to be able to efficiently get out meals to more people. And we did this by doing 2 hot meals per week and 3 frozen. So we're visiting them, delivering meals 2 days a week, which then our staff does well check calls twice a month to those same clients because we are only going out there twice a week. So we're doing right now we've done about 1,100 well check calls and given out supplies, supplemental food supplies and different hygiene supplies to people of Lorain County as well. And we're still only doing this with 12 staff people. We just changed the way we were doing things. And for an example of us now having the funding, which will end at the end of this year, the funding that we received this year will end December 31st of 2021. Back in 2019, we had a 90-year-old female referred to us from Mercy Hospital. She waited months to get on her meals. We had no funding to add her. She was one of the 450 people that waited to get meals back in 2019. Right now in 2021, it was just the end of July, we added a son called for 91-year-old and 92-year-old husband and wife, the husband caring for his wife that has dementia, son lives in Cleveland, other daughter lives out of state, where we were able to start delivering to them in 8 days. So with the funding, sometimes it's sooner than that, depends when the ordering is, but with funding we are able to get people meals, especially the really at-risk people, in a very quick turnaround. And talking about more than just a meal, we meet the needs of our clients and our neighbors of Lorain County with more than just a meal. Sometimes we change their drop-off time. If they have an unexpected doctor's appointment, they'll call us. Their driver will say, okay, I'll get you at the end of my route. We communicate with Adult Protective Services if there's a problem delivering to someone they had referred us to, and we also refer clients to Adult Protective Services. Because of our drivers, the same drivers do the same clients, do the same routes, they know when there's a change in the behavioral or health of that client. So if they have any concerns, our drivers call us, or the drivers themselves will call and we'll call their emergency contacts. Just happened a few weeks ago with one of our participants. He's 80, veteran, up on a ladder in his garage fixing something. He fell. The driver, Jimmy, gets there. He's all scraped up, knees are bloody. And he said, Mr. Smith, why didn't you call someone? He said, well, I didn't want to bother my son. He's working. So, of course, we called the son, and one of the granddaughters came over that was a nurse and checked on this client, and he was okay, but we are the eyes and ears of the people in this community. They trust the drivers trust them. We've helped them with several things that they need, and we meet the basic need and enrich the lives of our neighbors 60 and older in this county, one stop at a time. Thank you.
Good morning, Commissioners.
Good morning.
Thank you for giving us the time. My name is Mark Sharvat. I'm the Chief Financial Officer for Neighborhood Alliance, and I'm here to talk about the financial impact of our proposal and what your funding, if provided, would yield to the organization and to the community at large. And I hope to answer 2 very important questions. The first is, why are we doing what we're doing? Why are we bringing this proposal to you with this level of funding request? And number 2, What are the citizens of Lorain County receiving in return for this level of funding? What's the return on investment, to put it in financial terms? What is the community getting back? So hopefully, as we walk through this in a simple, brief fashion, we'll be able to see exactly what the community is getting and the benefit that it will be. As you're all aware, we live in a very unique time, both past, present, and future, possibly future with the pandemic. However, the needs that were brought into sharp focus as a result of the pandemic, as we discussed, were existing even before the pandemic hit. There were those needs. They were not as visible to the community. The pandemic hit, and it brought about, how the need for resources to really meet the demand for services in our community. To the credit to society, we responded as a country in a huge way. There was a major provision of financial resources, both from the federal, state, local, private foundations, individuals, and we were a recipient of a lot of these funds in order not only to maintain our senior nutrition operations, but to also increase to meet the demand that came about and that was revealed more as a result of what happened in society. However, as we looked at that, we realized that a lot of these gifts, probably the majority of them, were one-time kind of provisions of resources. They were not designed, they were one-time from the sense that they were meant to meet that specific need, not necessarily be on an ongoing basis. So as we looked at things moving forward, we realized that we wanted to continue to meet the demand, increase the demand in the community for the meals, but knew that we were probably walking into a situation where we would have limited access to some of this increased funding. The other thing that we realized from the expense side is, if we all are aware in our daily life, is that expenses have gone up exponentially over the last year. Wages have increased dramatically. If you've gone to the gas station recently, you know that the cost of fuel has gone up incredibly. We use trucks to deliver our meals, so these costs drove up. Materials, things like that, increased dramatically, and those costs are generally not going to go down. Organizations typically aren't going to be reducing wages without risking losing people. So we knew that we would have maybe limited access to some of the increased funding, and we also knew that our expenses were going to go up and probably stay at that elevated level for the foreseeable future. So we have to sit back as an organization and look at things from a business model standpoint, if you will. How do we deliver services? How can we do that more efficiently? How can we grow what we deliver? And we knew that we needed a new way of doing things. And the first thing that we needed is we had to improve our means of production. We had to become more efficient and more cost-effective on how we produce the meals, how we deliver the meals, and we realized that we needed to make an investment in a new kitchen. We have an aging, in many ways dated, kitchen with limited capacity. Just from a sheer space standpoint, we need a bigger kitchen that can increase our output. So as you see in the proposal, there is a portion of that to help us build the kitchen at our facility on Washington Avenue. Now that would mean we would, excuse me, we would increase the ability of the kitchen to produce meals from about 140,000 meals a year to over 350,000 meals a year, almost a threefold increase in meals from a new kitchen, which is the second part of our plan, which is very crucial, is that we want to, as a result of building the kitchen, increase the volume of the meals that we produce to maintain the levels that we are providing right now, increase to Lorain County citizens each year the number of meals, provide meals to our own clients at our Haven shelter, homeless shelter, and to our two child care facilities. This would drive up the volume of meals, which would then allow us to reduce our per unit costs. It's basic economies of scale, just like a production factory. If you produce one car, it's going to be at a great cost. If you produce thousands from a line, your costs go down. And so each year, in the proposal, we ask for money for meals in order to increase the number of meals that would go to Lorain County citizens. However, as we increase that, our costs are going down because we're maximizing the capacity of our kitchen, and so the per unit costs for the meals start to go down. That's why you see in the proposal, you see a higher amount at the beginning, but by year 3, a very minimal investment with a higher level of meals provided because the per unit costs are going down. As you look at the numbers, there is a jump from year 1 to 2 as far as the revenues expense. A good portion of that reflects our internal use, meaning we are providing meals for our clients and for our children, which drives up obviously the costs, but we're providing all of that at cost. So it's an offset on both sides of the ledger. The other part of the increase from year 1 to 2 is in order to maximize the capacity of the kitchen, we would be hiring more people and investing in that, plus the increased cost for producing more meals, obviously. By year 3, that levels out, and you start to see then a surplus from our operations. Now, what we would do with that surplus at that point is now we're approaching, obviously, self-sustainability. So then that surplus would then get reinvested into the community, meaning we would be doing a combination of continually improving our equipment and our capacity to produce meals and then providing more meals at a lower cost out of that surplus. So it's almost funded meals by year 3. So the bottom line is that for the investment, you're getting 2 very important things. Number one, there's been a lot of federal money, it's in the news about the federal money that is flowing down to the communities, and at some level the community wants to see what are we getting for these tax dollars. Building this kitchen, Lorain County can point to a very visible example of something tangible that the community received that they could actually see and lay their hands on. And then the second part is that the community will receive a much greater volume of meals at a greatly reduced cost over the period of time. And turn it over to Alicia.
All right. I have to adjust this again because he's much taller than I
was
am.
gonna-
Thank you. All right. So we've given you a lot of information, but everything that we've shared today brings us to the creation of the Neighborhood Nutrition Kitchen. The build of this new kitchen space will allow Neighborhood Alliance to consolidate our kitchen across our programs. We right now have 4 separate kitchens that we're running. So this will bring us all into one kitchen, which will consolidate our programming in that way. It will also, because we will be consolidating kitchens, that will help us to drive our food costs down, as Mark shared with you. That will create a more efficient operation for us on the inside, which then in turn leads to more available funds for food as our costs begin to lessen over the course of the next several years. So this is a long-term plan for us. This is not something that is fly-by-night. We're going to put the kitchen up and then we're just going to forget about it. We have a plan to continue to build this program. More meals will mean fewer seniors in Lorain County are on a wait list waiting to receive home-delivered meals, and that's really the main goal of this project. It also will mean healthier food for our child care families and for the residents of the homeless shelter that we provide. That will allow us to source foods locally and give them fresh fruits and vegetables instead of canned or processed food. We look forward to additional opportunities to create partnerships with other organizations, and we have multiple partnerships throughout the county right now. We've been talking to a lot of our partner agencies about how can we further develop this, what other opportunities are out there, can we do internships, externships in the kitchen, can we build other programs to feed populations that maybe we're not working with currently, but we have a partner that is, and we could help provide the food to them because we will be able to provide catering out of this kitchen. Lastly, we know that preparing food on site in the new kitchen will give everyone that we serve the opportunity for meals that are accessible to them, that are healthy, that are cost effective. And we hope that that will empower them to live healthier lives as Lorain County residents. So as you know, we've already started to develop the plans for the kitchen. And so we have our phase one is our catering kitchen. That's the first part of the plan that we have to renovate the former YMCA in Elyria that was given to us in 2020. That'll be the location of the kitchen. We have projected costs. We have drawings with an architect. We're ready to begin the bidding process. And we're hopeful that you will choose to support our efforts in renovating this building and help us to eliminate the waiting list for home delivered meals in Lorain County and so much more. We welcome any questions that you have. And that's the end of our presentation. If there's anything we can answer for you, and again, we appreciate the opportunity to share this information with you and look forward to working with you further if you should support this project.
I
Thank you.
enjoyed talking to you at the budget hearings when we were talking, and
Yeah.
the Office on Aging and you guys work together. So I take it that those type of collaborations are going to continue, I take it?
Yes, absolutely.
That's what we're talking about, the inefficiencies and how, so I'm glad you guys jumped right on that and got a plan.
Yeah, we have a plan. I knew we would.
That's a good job.
Yes, thank you. Yeah, we're very excited about it. I think there's a lot of opportunity to grow and expand what we're doing and
agree.
get the food out to people in a much more efficient way than what we've been doing. So I look forward to those partnerships and really
I like
making a
your money
plan.
guy, because that's really the bottom line.
It is.
Trying to
That's
get
why I brought him with me.
Well, the unit cost is where we're at, right, and that's wonderful that you guys have it down to that, because that's really the end of the day, that's what it's about, so.
Thank you.
No, thank you. That's a lot of work you guys did.
All right. Let me switch this back for you.
Yeah, I would just like to add that, Mark, you hit it out of the park. You know how to present a business model, and, taxpayers and residents, like us to try to apply business models as much as possible in government. It's not always easy to do, but we're always looking for efficiencies and effectiveness, and, you look at I think the overall return on investment. Part of that is that you really can't put a price on nutrition for seniors, healthier seniors. Those are the things you can't really put a price on. So there's a lot of numbers in the mix, but that's one component that we should say is priceless, and it's important to take care of them. But if I ever need a business model presentation, I'm calling Mark. So job well done by all of you, and I know that Commissioner Moore had spoken to you earlier and said, hey, put together a business model for us and come back with a presentation. And you've been very thorough in your research, and it's a very detailed plan, to say the least, not just kind of a one back of a paper type of presentation here. So it's very thorough, and I just want to thank you for your commitment.
And thank you, Ms. Foss and the entire team for coming out with the presentation, and for all the hard work that the folks at Neighborhood Alliance do. And, we really appreciate all you do, and thanks to my fellow commissioners who were dedicated to bringing this neighborhood nutrition project into reality. So thank you again for coming out.
Thank you.
Okay, guys, you ready? At this time, I move to amend the agenda to address item number 12 at this time.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye, but you just said we moved 12. Should we tell the public what it was?
I'm going to read, well,
Oh,
we're going to
okay.
read it next. We got to amend it first.
We'll
Okay.
vote for the amendment. I'm
Yeah.
sorry.
Yeah,
Okay.
okay,
Can't wait 5 minutes, sorry.
okay. That was a yes, right?
Yes,
Commissioner
that-
Moore?
yeah,
Okay.
after a while.
Okay, the next item of business is number 12. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution into the record.
Authorize $500,000 to Neighborhood Alliance for the construction of their kitchen to provide meals to seniors to be paid from the American Rescue Plan Act account.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board?
If I could, Madam President. I'd just like to say our county is a better place today because of the dedication and commitment to our community by our seniors. It's important that we always protect our seniors and show them the dignity and respect that they deserve. It's our responsibility to make sure they're protected and served. Too many of our seniors go to sleep each night. They wake up each morning worried about how to balance the cost of their bills, prescription drugs, with putting food on the table. Far too many of our seniors wonder and worry about just being able to eat. Their lifeline in this county is the hot meals delivered to their homes. It's also an important check-in to make sure that they're okay. Neighborhood Alliance, the Office on Aging, have said that they can run a more effective and efficient program to get meals to our seniors if they had a quality food kitchen to prepare and distribute these meals. We need to make this investment to make sure that we can better serve our seniors in need with a nutritional meal to keep them healthy, happy, and secure. They have done so much for us. Now it's our responsibility to help take care of them. So I urge my colleagues this morning to support this investment for our seniors. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Lundy. Commissioner Moore, do you have comment? Okay. As we know, the YMCA property was generously donated to Neighborhood Alliance by Dick Bonner in early 2020. I'd like to thank Mr. Bonner for taking the first step in making this project a reality. And many people aren't aware that since 1927, Neighborhood Alliance has been compassionately caring for the community. Their programs include the Haven Center, Emergency Shelter, Help Me Grow Visiting, Ohio's Early Intervention, Child Care Enrichment Services, and Senior Nutrition Services, which we're talking about today. Just some stats. 1 in 5 Americans are 60 years old or older, and the average life expectancy is 79 years. And in our country, 1 in 4 seniors lives alone, and 1 in 4 feels lonely. As we get older, even the most independent among us may face a financial hardship or physical impediment that strips away our independence. Add to that a lack of transportation, the result is seniors can be left behind, hungry and alone. Food insecurity is one of the most pressing issues for our senior population in Lorain County. Hunger and social isolation not only jeopardize the health and well-being of our older population, it also places a strain on our healthcare system and economy. Neighborhood Alliance already provides senior meals in 80% of the communities in Lorain County. Proper nutrition for the older population is crucial to lowering disease risks such as diabetes, stroke, and heart disease. A very important component of this program is that it also brings enrichment, such as socialization, well-check calls, and various supportive services. My fellow commissioners have certainly seen the evidence that they are stretched thin, very thin, operating the way they are. Supplemental pandemic funding has helped, however, they are maxed out at capacity in their current kitchen facility. The Neighborhood Kitchen Project will centralize the staff to this one location, expand child care programs, expand programming, and the most immediate need is to create a large commercial kitchen. At a significant cost savings, the new kitchen will meet critical demand for senior home delivered meals and cater its own meals for children and homeless clients. Phase 1 is building out the kitchen to a full-service catering kitchen, and this is the important first step of this project. As we know, these public-private partnerships are historically critically underfunded. On March 11th, 2021, the American Rescue Plan Act was signed into law. The $1.9 trillion relief package ensured resources are targeted to the most vulnerable. Uses for the relief dollars include nutrition services such as home-delivered meals and supportive services to address social isolation. I'm almost done. With this commitment today, we are letting the residents know that we are working together as a community and as your Board of Commissioners. We are a community that wants to see this project and these programs be successful. While we are proud today to help Neighborhood Alliance begin this critical phase, the work has just begun. It is a journey that needs the help and support of everyone in Lorain County. Neighborhood Alliance needs you too, whether it is the volunteering of your time, the mentoring, the donations of clothing for their clients, or in the form of your generous donation. It takes a village, and yes, they still need your help to raise money for this worthy project and to keep our community thriving. Thank you.
If I could just add,
Yes.
Madam President, I know that a lot of projects are going to be coming forward as part of the Rescue Act plan, and I can't stress enough how the board is going to want strong documentation, strong accounting, very strong records on that. That's something that legal will be working out, but like he doesn't have enough work to do. But just so everybody's, aware that, we want to make sure we have total confidence in you, but it's important that any of these projects moving forward are well documented and there's, good accounting around them. So, and after hearing Mark's presentation, I'm not too worried about that. So,
Okay, thank you. Commissioners, all set? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy,
aye.
Commissioner Moore?
I,
Okay, I move to amend the agenda to address item number 23 at this time.
Second,
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy,
aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Health Department. Mr. Covell's here.
I,
Okay, the next, Health Department, the next item of business is number 23. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution into the record.
Authorized payment to Lorain County Public Health in the amount of $95,000 for all county residents to receive the flu shot and no cost for the flu seasons 2021-2022 to be paid from the American Rescue Plan Act account.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board?
I guess at this point, Madam President, I know the Health Commissioner is here. If he wanted to share a couple words about the importance of the flu vaccine and how, if we decide to vote to accept this today, how that'll make it possible for folks to get free flu shots.
Hello, how are you all? Dave Colville, Health Commissioner, Lorain County Public Health. So it's important to remember that I know we're all focused on COVID-19, but there are other viruses out there, RSV and flu, and so when you think about the approaching flu season, it'll be important for people to get their flu shots so that we don't have this problem of COVID being out there along with flu, and so again, the more we can protect people, the better. So every year we purchase a flu vaccine, and then we usually charge folks their insurance card to actually recoup the cost of our nurses' services along with the actual vaccine itself. And so vaccines are about $18 for the regular flu vaccine and about $45 for the high dose, which is given to seniors 65 and over. And so again, that protection's out, it needs to be out there. And so what this would allow us to do is kind of as a partnership to use the rescue dollars to actually pay for the vaccine itself. And then Lorain County Public Health will actually supply nursing services, and that'll be our contribution to the cause. And so again, we'll just take care of all the costs for the nurse themselves to actually do it in the setup of the appointment and all those pieces. And so we did this last year, and it actually worked out really well. Some folks, they struggle with, they either don't have insurance or there's just other barriers that stop them from getting a flu shot. So we just want to get those barriers out of the way. Obviously, there'll be other partners in the community that they can go to Giant Eagles and CVS's and, all those other folks to get a vaccine that they want, and they'll charge their insurance card. But for anyone who really has a problem and needs to get it from us, it would be free of charge in this case. The other piece I wanted to clarify just real quickly is when to get your flu shot. So this came up yesterday in one of our calls. So remember that in Northeast Ohio, flu season is from the middle of December till the end of March. Okay, you don't want to get your flu shot too early. Now, I know Giant Eagle's going to market to you and try to get you out there to buy a bag of chips and get a flu shot early in the season. Remember, the closer you get it, the 1st of November is about the best time. That way it has 2 weeks to get working in your system before Thanksgiving, when you may be having guests from other parts of the country or maybe going traveling. And so really the end of October, beginning of November is when to get your flu shot. That's the optimal time. I think someone mentioned on the call yesterday, the best time to get your flu shot is whenever you can get it. So again, if you only can get it early, go ahead and get it. But in general, you'd like to wait to the beginning of November. So. With that, I'm happy to answer questions.
yeah, last year, do you know how many flu shots you gave away or?
We usually average around 4,000 flu shots. We gave out a little over 5,000 last year. Again, and I think some of that was because of the barrier. Also, some of that was the concern around COVID, obviously.
How was that paid for last year? Did they use that rescue funds from
They
last
u-
year?
That's correct. They used that, and then we just provided our nurses services as an in-kind.
Okay, so it's the same thing. How much was it last year? Do you remember?
Not, same amount,
About the same amount. So
95,000.
it's the same amount. We're just taking money from, another account to put it in there then. And don't you
Yeah.
have a millage coming up? Don't you have a levy coming up?
We do.
Well, I'm surprised you're not taking this opportunity to have a.
Well, let's talk about that. Issue 3 will be up.
I think he may now.
Well, I will now. Thank you very much. So again, we are funded in a variety of different ways. We diversify our funding to make sure that it doesn't cost taxpayers additional dollars. And so we get lots of grants. We also have some taxpayer dollars, and then we have some fee for service. And so the levy that's on the ballot is issue 3. And that costs the average homeowner of a $100,000 house about $16 a year. Let's clarify that, $16 a year per $100,000 house. So again, not a lot of money. I know it's not the largest tax piece, but if you remember, when we merged all the help, thank you for reminding me, and please, vote for issue 3 when you get the opportunity.
And how much more time you got?
101 days.
Okay.
So yeah, the end of the year I'll be retiring, and we have a candidate that will be moving in, and I'll come and introduce him here in a few
I feel like
months.
I'm your Ed McMahon today.
Yes, thank you very much. Yes.
Yeah, I didn't know you hired a publicity guy here,
Yeah.
so, but, no, I just want to also personally thank you. You've been the calm voice in the storm. This has been probably, I think we can easily say, probably the most challenging, health concerns that we've had in at least 100 years, right? So, but you've always been just right up front, candid, but calm, and it's made a big difference in the way that Lorain County has handled things, and your leadership has just been tremendous for this county. So, and you're always very informative, and I can't say enough about the importance of folks trying to get in and get these flu shots, please, so you won't be wondering, oh, do I have COVID? I didn't get my flu shot, all those different things that roam around your head. So, but I can't thank you enough for your leadership, and I know that last year the vaccinations of the flu shots or whatever went really well, and I'm sure they'll go equally well this year.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Cavell. And thank you for your many years of service. I hear you're retiring at the end of the year.
Yes, that's the idea.
I'm joking because I was the one that unfortunately outed you early on that one.
No
Thank
problem.
you, sir.
Thank you.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Okay, moving on to C, resolutions.
Number 1, investments.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board?
Yeah, when you move them around, we lose audience participation. So when you guys, okay, sorry, that's it.
Okay. Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Number 2, appropriations.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Number 3, transfers.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Number 4, advances, repayments. There were none. Number 5, requisitions.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Number 6, travel.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Number 7, bills.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? I would like to point out, I know we've had this discussion on Amazon before. I did call to see what the Amazon purchase was, and it was a table for our HR department ordered in March. Have anything else? Okay. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Next item of business is number 8, authorize various personnel actions as indicated on the summary sheet for employees within the jurisdiction of the Lorain County Board of Commissioners. At the conclusion of today's board meeting, the commissioners may recess into executive session to discuss personnel, new hires, and board appointments. The next item of business is number 9. I move to approve and waive the reading of the minutes of August 18th, 2021.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Next item of business is number 10. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution into the record.
Rescind Resolution 2173 adopted February 3rd, 2021, entering an agreement with Andrew McDonald, Velocity Advisors, as the county's representative for Supplement 125 insurance benefits for county employees.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore.
In January, we switched the 125 insurance benefits and brought in a company to do that work. Commissions weren't that large. Previously, a company named that Rocky Campana owned was here for about 15 years. Well, 2.5 months ago, those two created an alliance in order to work together. One, naturally, a Democrat company, the other one a Republican company, and the employees seem to be a little bit more comfortable with that program. So they have been working together for about 2.5 months, and it's been a pretty good alliance of bipartisanship in the private sector, and our employees have benefited from that. Thank you.
Commissioner Lundy. Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Nope.
Next item of business is number 11. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution into the record.
Authorize salary adjustments to Lorain Municipal Court employees reflecting the county's 2/5 share. Genzo Soto, bailiff for Judge Mihawk, at about new biweekly rate of $910.90 effective January 1st, 2021. And she resigned effective yesterday, August 31st, 21. Peter Torres, bailiff, for Judge Mihawk, effective August 30th, 2021, at a rate of $920.24, which took over Genzo Soto's place. And then Bianca Villar, bailiff for Judge Elwell, at a new biweekly rate of $910.90, effective January 1st, 2021.
Okay, move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung,
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
The next item of business is number 13. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution into the record.
Rescind Resolution 21-125, adopted February 24, 2021, authorizing Thomas E. Williams, Lorain County Administrator, to utilize the Lorain County Loramet Visa credit card.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Okay, the next, Children and Family First Council. The next item of business is number 14. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution into the record.
Approve and enter a purchase service contract with Cleveland Hearing and Speech Center, Cleveland, in the amount of $4,500 for the deaf and speech language pathology consultation and evaluation services for the early intervention Help Me Grow, effective retroactive from July 1st, 2021 through June 30, 2022, and this will be paid from the contractual purchase service account. Ooh.
Shouldn't make you say that 4 times in a row.
No.
Yeah. Okay, move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung,
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore.
Aye.
The next item of business is number 15.
Approve and enter in contract with Catholic Charities Corporation, DBA Catholic Charities Diocese of Cleveland, in the amount of $25,000 for fiscal year 22 Family Center support and services, effective retroactive from July 1st, 2021 through June 30th, 2022, and this will be paid from the contractual purchase service professional services account.
You did it.
Yay!
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Okay, moving on to Job and Family Services. The next item of business is number 16.
Authorize payment of the county general fund mandated share in the amount of $1,045,762 in compliance with the Ohio Revised Code 5101.16 and OAC 5101.9631 to be paid from the general fund mandate account, a minimum of additional 5% of the state of Ohio certified amount of the county's share for state fiscal year 22 in the amount of $1,098,050.10 will be appropriated to general fund public assistance grants line item for 21 calendar year.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll. Let the
Commissioner
roll.
Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Okay, the next item of business is number 17. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution into the record.
Submit funding applications to Ohio Department of Development for Northwest Sanitary Trunk Sewer Design and the Rolling Heights Allotment Sanitary Sewer Project for funding consideration. House Bill 168, adopted by a House legislator in July of 2021, established a water and wastewater infrastructure grant program providing $250 million to provide safe, reliable drinking water in areas that lack infrastructure, bring sewage treatment capacity unsewered areas, and develop regional infrastructure to serve multiple communities.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Next item of business is number 18.
Award and enter in contract with Underground Utilities, Inc., Monroeville, Ohio, in the amount of $2,171,670 for the Middle Ridge Sanitary Sewer Extension Project. This project consists of extension of installing 4,360 feet of 10-inch sanitary sewer along Middle Ridge Road and West Ridge Road. Also included is the installation of a pump station and 1,700 feet of 6-inch force main, part of which is located underneath State Route 2. Issue notice to proceed upon full execution of the contract, authorizing work to begin on or around October 1st and completed on or before June 1st, 2022. Authorize administrator to notify the auditor to release retainage at the completion of the project, and this will be paid from the account Apple Pie Q Construction.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Okay. Children's Services. The next item of business is number 19. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution into the record.
Authorize and rescind various personnel utilizing the agency's MasterCard for the year 2021, not to exceed $2,500 for permissible expenses within their policy.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Common Pleas, number 20. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution into the record.
Approve grant agreement in the amount of $1,701,580 with the Ohio Department of Rehabilitation and Correction, Division of Parole and Community Services, Bureau of Community Sanctions, Targeted Community Alternatives to Prison, which is the TCAP grant. This is a revised TCAP grant servicing F5 offenders with the new addition of the F4 offenders under community control within its jurisdiction for the Adult Probation Department and will end June 30th, 2023.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board?
I'd like to thank the group over there at Common Pleas. This is a really good program, so good job.
Thank you, Madam Clerk. Please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Office of the Engineer. The next item of business is number 21. Madam
Approve
Clerk,
and- oh, I'm
sorry,
sorry.
go ahead.
Approve and enter in a subdivider agreement with EWGC Development Group LLC, San Petros subdivider for the Emerald Woods subdivision number 3 in Columbia Township. Subdivider has provided proof of ownership, deeds, and insurance and agrees to bear all costs and expenses of improvements.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board?
Keeping the clerk on her toes this morning. We keep mixing up the order of the vote.
That's all right.
So,
Take a week off, you come back to this,
All
right?
right?
The next one, that's gonna be the interesting
we're
one.
waiting for Dan to second one.
Do you have to read all that, Teresa?
It's the board's pleasure.
First of all, handling the matter at hand, where was I at? Am I on move to approve?
We already did that. You just
Need
need
to
to
vote.
say.
Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
The next item of business is number 22. Madam Clerk, please read what you think is necessary into
Can I
the
just-
record.
Hold on, you can vote to waive the reading of
Thank
number
you.
22. So maybe a motion and a second for that. and
I'll
then
make a
she-
motion to waive the reading of number 22, and you're welcome.
I'll second
Thank you.
Madam Clerk, please call the roll on that.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Now we vote on it, correct?
Yep.
Correct.
Okay.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Moore. Any discussion from the board on that? Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
All righty.
All right.
You're welcome, Teresa.
Thank you.
Sheriff DTF, number 24. Madam Clerk, please read the resolution into the record.
Enter into a sub-grant agreement, award agreement, with the Ohio Department of Public Safety, Ohio Recovery, Ohio Fund Grant 2020 ROETF R564 in the amount of $86,378.04 for DTF and Lorain County Drug Force authorized payment from the Criminal Justice Salaries Account.
Move to approve.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Any discussion from the board? Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy.
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Okay. I don't know what letter we're on. We are on D, public comment, lobby session. Welcome to the lobby portion of our meeting. Madam Clerk, do we have any slips today for
I do
public
not.
comment? Okay. All right, moving on to reports. Interim County Administrator, Mr. Rob Weber, do you have a report for us today?
Yes, Madam Commissioner.
Good morning, Commissioners, and I'd also like to wish a very good morning to our local Lorain County community. Just a very brief report on 3 topics. Last Tuesday, August 24th, many members of the Board of Commissioners, employees, directors, and many employees attended a very successful event, the local Lorain County Chamber of Commerce elected officials reception, and just wanted the board to know that we had a very good presence for that event. That was a good networking, interaction, and business talking type of an event. Secondly, on a more somber note, this Sunday, 2 days ago, I very proudly represented the Lorain County Board of Commissioners at a solemn and respectful prayer vigil and memorial service for Navy Corpsman, which means medic, Max Soviak in Berlin Heights, Ohio, which is our sister county to the west, neighboring in Erie County. Corpsman Soviak was one of the 13 American service members who was killed at the Kabul airport in Afghanistan last week. He's a true American hero, not only that in that he made the ultimate sacrifice for our great constitutional republic, but also, in a biblical sense, in giving his life in service to others who are in need. I was very proud to be there. It was a very distinguished service. There was probably over 1,000 people there. It was an amazing turnout to honor this young man who made the ultimate sacrifice for the Republic and God. Lastly, on a very positive note for Lorain County, all week, very successful Lorain County Fair was had. Our county commissioners and our various departments had a tremendous presence throughout the fair week. Many people worked very, very hard, manning their respective booths and tents during this pretty difficult weather conditions. For those efforts, I'd like to say, job well done, and those efforts are very much appreciated by the administration. While I'm usually cautious to single out individual people, in this particular case, I have to. I believe that 3 people are especially deserving of recognition for their efforts during last week's Fair Week. First off, Ms. Tiffany Barker of Solid Waste. She did extra and above and beyond the call of duty out there for much of the week, worked hard. Her director specifically noticed it and requested, and I personally noticed it as well. And so commendation and appreciation to Ms. Tiffany Barker. Secondly, Ms. Amy Marcel, the secretary for Commissioner Moore. She was basically literally there the entire week, working hard. obviously on behalf of her direct first-line report, the commissioner. What was even more impressive, and it was kind of fun, Amy had never been, I know, to Lorain County Fair and maybe not many other fairs, if at all, but she just seemed to be enjoying it. She had a positive attitude, worked hard. But I was most impressed, and just friendly demeanor to everybody, the folks that came by, the handing out of the yardsticks, which there was many jokes about the use of the yardsticks and appropriate use and then inappropriate use. And it was just a joy to be there in tough weather conditions and frankly, just tough times at the county. But most important, while she was there at the behest of Commissioner Moore, she generously and graciously and unselfishly helped all the other employees that were there in their duties at their various booths and stands. And I think that very much is deserving of recognition. Thank you, Miss Amy. Lastly, and far from least, the Secretary to the Administrator's Office, Ms. Chris Kish, deserves the utmost of recognition for her efforts for Fair Week. First off, she was delegated to her almost complete, I think almost is the wrong word, complete and total responsibility for organizing, orchestrating, scheduling the fair, our activities, personnel, the booths, the tents, and coordinating all of the above. And she did a tremendous job. Unsupervised, with little help, little resources, she did an amazing job on behalf of the county. Again, she did all the organization end. On the front end, she did the setup personally. On the back end, yesterday, she did the breaking down. And I know she had help, and I want to give a shout out, if you will, to facilities folks went out there, and they did a great job, and they didn't gripe or complain. They worked hard, but again, all under the orchestration of Ms. Kish. And lastly, with manning or coordinating the schedule, and as it played out, and she let people have preferences and accommodated their needs, including my own, when I served my shift, if you will, and I'm grateful for that. The last 2 full and entire days of the fair, she personally manned the commissioner table 2 entire days, where the shifts were broken up in 2 shifts. She did 2 full shifts, 2 days in a row, last Saturday and Sunday. I was out there for over 8 hours myself on Saturday. I stopped by to see the commissioner booth or table and talk to her. It was hot, it was sweaty, it was hard, and Chris Kish went above and beyond the call of duty. And I believe, and again, always careful to single out individuals, but in this particular instance, I want to recognize and say thank you to Chris Kish. Commissioners, that's all I have. Thank you.
Thank you, Deputy Administrator, Interim County Administrator Weber. Did you guys have any comments on the fair or anything you wanted to add?
Part of my report.
Okay, all right. Next up is Assistant County Prosecutor Dan Petticord.
Thank you, Commissioner. I have no report, but I do have a piece of potential litigation to discuss with the board in executive session.
Okay, thank you. Moving on to Commissioner's report. Commissioner Moore, do you have a report for us this week?
Yeah, it seems at the fair this week, Carly Conrad's record of 21 years as the grand champion chicken winner has been knocked out. So Chronicle reported it on the front page. They forgot to mention something, that I was the one that purchased that chicken for 20 years and been the butt of a joke for
Really?
20 years for paying that much money for a chicken. So I'd like to thank Anthony Forthover, the 13-year-old who beat Carly Conrad's record from 2000. And now whoever bought that, this is on him or her. So, but I can tell you again, that was the most expensive fajitas I ever had. And that was it was nice to see that they beat that record of 20 years. One of those rare records I never thought I'd be assigned to. I was a baseball guy, so I appreciate that story. That was a nice story. So I know you didn't write it, Dave, right? Oh, you did write it? Oh, okay. Wasn't me. Okay. I'll wait. I'll finish the report now.
That concludes your report, sir?
Correct.
Okay, I just had a quick kind of addendum to our deputy, I keep saying it wrong, our interim county administrator, Mr. Rob Weber. We, thank you to Chris Kish and Amy, and I know that had to be hot out there for you guys last week. But Tiffany Barker, I wanted to note that she was the one going back and forth with us commissioners on all of the tchotchkes that were out there at the fair, and she is an extremely patient woman. So just wanted to thank Tiffany for working through all of that with us to have those ordered and out there for everybody. That concludes my report. Commissioner Lundy.
Yes, I'd just like to add on the fair front that want to thank everybody that volunteered their time to be out there. It was hot most days. We had lots of rain, lots of mud, all kinds of issues to deal with, but everybody definitely stepped up on it. I don't know how many rulers or chip clips we gave out, but I know they were flying off the shelves very fast out there. But we just have a great team here. We've got great employees, and I think they are always very professional and work so well with the public, and I think that certainly was demonstrated out at the fair when people had a chance to meet many of our team members and employees. So thank you to everyone who worked, and thank you to the Lorain County Fair. You know, we didn't have the opportunity to have the fair the other year, and so things are getting back to normal. I know this board made a substantial investment to try to help the fair get back on track. It's a good family event, and it's always good to see the kids doing well with their 4-H projects. I didn't know you were the big contributor of so many of those purchases in the past, Commissioner Moore. So, but it's really important to support the 4-H program and the kids. And you know, we run one of the most successful fairs in the state, and it's amazing the people you run into there. They come in from all around the state to visit our fair. So congratulations to the Fair Board on a very successful fair this year. Want to thank the Chamber for putting together the Meet the Elected Officials event over at the Ariel Hotel. A lot of folks are just so excited about that facility over there. That facility opened, I think, literally 2 or 3 weeks before COVID kicked in. So we're thankful, quite frankly, that they're still there and that they've been able to weather the storm. But that's one of the projects that is making a big difference in the renaissance that's going on in Lorain. And thank you to the Chamber for putting that together. A lot of interesting discussions with folks at that event. Lakefront erosion, the lakefront communities continue to gather. The board had provided seed funding so that they could actually come together, establish a special improvement district, and look at how best to address lakefront erosion in the county. The shoreline has been beaten up by high waters and winds over the past couple years, and the communities are working well on that. Also had the chance to sit down with Dave Blevins, our solid waste director. I got to tell you, Dave's been hitting it out of the park since day one. That department is running extremely well. For those who watch these meetings, if you've not taken advantage of our recycling center, please do so. It's amazing how we can help make your life so much easier when you're trying to clean up things around the house. So please just don't throw it in your weekly trash or someplace else where it shouldn't be thrown. Bring it to our recycling center and we'll take care of things for you. Also want to say thank you to Dan Reeser and the Reeser family. Just a great family, always involved in the community, always wanting to support the community. The family's been very supportive of Lorain County Community College. Obviously, has been very active in Elyria Catholic, and the family stepping up to provide a new turf and a new field over there. And, you know, when you're a business person, it's so easy to kind of make your money and spend your money on things that you want to do. I think when you become a true community business, it's when you're somebody like Dan Reeser and his family, and you step up and put the money back into the community to make the community a better place. And his family's always done that. So we want to thank him for his investment there at EC, his past investment there at LCC, and in other ways and means in the community in which he's been supportive. I had the opportunity Saturday to attend the Ike Maxwell Appreciation Day. For those of you who may not know Ike Maxwell, He set a lot of records when he was with Elyria High School, and I know there's been a push to try to get him into the Elyria Sports Hall of Fame. He certainly has the numbers that makes it worthy of that, and the community wanted to show its special appreciation of Ike and his accomplishment. So a great turnout on the square for that event. Also, we're starting interviews to fill positions. We've been doing some of those interviews here over the past week, so those are underway. And also our stormwater management district meeting that we held recently. And a lot of projects are being worked on. We are making amazing progress in this county to address flooding issues. It's very dangerous when the roads start to be flooded, when people's properties are flooded, their farmland's flooded, doing everything we can to make as much progress as possible and make things better. We have a lot of ditches in this county to clear and cover, and I just want to thank my colleagues. We've been working so well together to get those things done. And that completes my report, Madam President.
Thank you. Our next item is H. Clerk's report. Madam Clerk, please read the report into the record.
On next Wednesday, September 8th, the Commissioners will not meet.
Our next item is I, Board Correspondence. I move to waive the reading of the Board Correspondence due to an executive session we have scheduled.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
At this time, I move to adjourn into executive session to discuss personnel issues, employment in new hires, and pending litigation. Potential litigation.
Yep.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Aye.
We have returned from executive session, and our meeting is back in session. I move to approve the personnel summary sheet.
Second.
Motion was made by Hung, seconded by Lundy. Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
I'd like some discussion.
Oh, well, actually, sure. Want to discuss?
Sign it, don't I?
Here you go, sure.
Haven't signed it yet. Yeah, on item number 6, I'll be voting no. And that is it. I'll be approving everything else but item number 6.
Can I see? Since I don't have them numerically, I'll take another look. Okay, I got you. Okay, yeah, there's no exceptions or exemptions for me.
Okay, Madam Clerk, please call the roll.
Commissioner Hung?
Yes.
Commissioner Lundy,
Aye.
Commissioner Moore?
Yes, with the noted exception.
Okay, meeting announcements. The next regularly scheduled board meeting is Wednesday, September 15th at 9:30 a.m. Is there any further business from this board? Okay, since there's no further business, this meeting is adjourned.